Here's what the bill would do. It would require county sheriffs to help federal immigration officials find individuals living in the country illegally. That means sheriffs would have to request proof of U.S. citizenship for those being held in county jails only for felony offenses. Now, if sheriffs don't comply, counties would lose 15% of state aid, also known as shared revenue, right? It wasn't too long ago. Lawmakers passed that huge deal to boost shared revenue to every municipality across the state, and that helps pay for things like police, fire, other essential services. Meanwhile, talking to municipal leaders like Milwaukee County supervisors, they, of course, were widely opposed to this bill. And right before the bill was unveiled, Governor Tony Evers also got a hint of it, talked to the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel about it, and vowed to veto it. This is an issue that we knew was going to come up. This is also a very dueling proposal to Democrats' bill that would not require law enforcement to partake with any ICE officials who are on the grounds. Neither of these bills are likely going to go anywhere.
So look, there's the policy Republicans believe in, copycatting off of what's happening at the federal level right now with the Trump administration to try and crack down on those here without documentation. There's also the politics of it. And the politics is that Robin Vos, the Assembly Speaker, wants to get some of these new members on record about where they're at with immigration because there's an election in a year and 10 months in which they may be pressed about these issues. Now, is immigration going to be a huge issue in 2026? Maybe. You know, I really can't predict 2 months from now, let alone 2 years from now. But this is something you're going to see. We've worked with the legislature trying to pin folks down on where they're at. The second thing to remember is the penalty. There was a bill like this actually last session. The penalty was added this session to pull back your revenue, in part because what's the enforcement mechanism for Dane and Milwaukee counties? They're the ones who are kind of like the boogeyman for Republicans' whole issue right now. Don't forget the feds are now starting to try and seek enforcement against locals for not complying with these directives. So the Trump administration filed suit in Chicago and Illinois, I believe Thursday this week. So that may set the stage for what might happen to Dane and Milwaukee counties and other places in Wisconsin if these bills go nowhere. So watch that dynamic play out as well.